I actually had my grandma called me when I was in Chicago. I was about to fly back to Spring Hill for my 21st birthday and like celebrate with my friends and family. So I already had a flight back literally the next day. I had a 2 weeks worth of clients booked because I had clients in my hometown that wanted to wait for me. And so I had a little seed of clients and reputation. And I had to on the spot say yes or no because she was going to start selling off the equipment like that day.
Oh
So
my
they were already
goodness.
taking things off the wall. And I was like, okay, do you want to do this? And at first I said no. And then quickly realized, look, I can always come back to Chicago and pick up my freelance career where I'm at, but I cannot always open my first business on my 21st birthday.
Tampa Bay, this one is for you. I am very excited about finally bringing her on. Big shout out to Alyssa for forging this new relationship. Ryan, thank you so much for joining That Entrepreneur Show.
Happy to be here.
I'm going to have to gas her up a little bit, everyone. She has an awesome bio. But before we get into that, if it's your first time with us, thank you so much for stopping by. This is the #1 podcast for small business owners and entrepreneurs around the world, with a new founder stopping by every week since 2019. That has led us here to today. If you want to share your story, email Danica at podcastsbylancy@gmail.com. But before we learn all about Ryan, here's my guess up of the week. She has consistently been recognized as a top 200 salon in North America. She has this crazy brand with Salon Halo, but that's not all she does. She has a leading growth strategy firm for small businesses. And something I love about her without knowing her is her emphasis on systems for success. Everything I do is systemized at this point, or I'm working towards finding that correct system. We're going to have to start there, Ryan. The floor is yours. Let's talk about why, or the moment you found out systems were a ride or die thing to have in your business.
Oh, Lordy. So there's a lot to that. Where to start? Okay. So originally, I had not planned to be in the position I'm at here today. I'm sure many people can relate. At one point in my life, my picture of success for myself was very different than where I am today. But with that, I am so much more happy and fulfilled and in alignment with what I am doing than I would have been if I had been in that old picture. But I got thrust into owning a salon unexpectedly. It was on my 21st birthday. I mean, I didn't even want to do hair before this, to be honest. I thought I would probably be like a lawyer or something, CEO of a company, which actually full circle now I am, but it was a very different picture. So at 21, with a 10th grade education, also unexpectedly dropping out of school, I found myself owning and having to grow a salon and a team of people. And I had been doing hair for about 6 years at that point. I started when I was 15, again, young and unexpectedly. And I knew how to do hair and I knew how to be great at that. And originally, when agreeing to take over the salon, I thought, oh, I know how this works. I know how to be successful in this field, in this industry. How much, harder could it be? I was always like the loudest voice. I was always the biggest ideas. I was like, that's leadership. Like that's what it takes to be successful. And fast forward quickly, anybody who has a business knows, and especially a business with a team, that is not what it's about. It is about, at least the way I would distill it down in the context of systems, is it's about distilling down the exact action steps that can most repeatably and reliably lead to the desired outcome for you and the team. So I had to look at everything that we were trying to do, and artistically, I am half logic, half artist, but most of my team was heavy on the artist side, and I had to be able to look at the big picture and there's very grand ideas and the abstract thoughts we have and distill them down into what I call a KPI, or key performance indicator, a metric that was actually tangible and could be measured by not just me, but by the whole team. And then second to that, reverse engineer all the steps that would most repeatably and consistently give them that end result. So that's systems in a nutshell as it was introduced to me.
I love it. And I'm already typing up too many show notes for when we go live. I love what you said there, choosing the right KPIs. I just graduated the incubator program at UT. That was big for me, is which KPIs are relevant to my business. Not every business has the same KPIs. Everyone, she just gave a great example of that trial and error, finding a way to make it work. And now that's led her all the way to where she is today. Before I dive into this grow and glow method that is so known here in Tampa, especially, I want to show some more love on Halo Consulting. What pushed you to go that route?
Well, as my aforementioned experience being thrust into leadership, not taking exactly the path that I thought was meant for me, I had to learn a lot of hard lessons. And I had to do a unrelenting amount of personal development, professional development. I went to conferences, I went to online seminars, I went, like, you name it, I did it in search of the path to the next level for me and my team. And literally today we're celebrating the salon's 13th birthday, which is also my 34th birthday.
Congratulations. Yes, happy birthday.
Thank you. And no place I'd rather be right now. I'm just like basking in all of it. So where I was going with that. Okay, yeah, that's right. So the journey to get to this point, I accumulated so many experiences, having to fall down and get back up, tools to overcome challenges, and really wanted to find the way to use that in service of the most people I possibly could. I spent these last 13 years really developing my team of people, and I've kind of like reached the heights of that. In my measure of that is that I've created leaders who now create other leaders. So it's just this huge ecosystem, and I've kind of done my work there, and I want to let other people flourish within Salon Halo. Now, all of these things that I have accumulated in terms of the tools and the mindset and the insights, I was called to share that with other business owners that lead a team and provide a service to their guests in the community. Like, those are my people. It's not just salons. It's med spas, restaurants, realtors. We actually own 2 restaurants, me and my husband as well. And these principles, they're meant to give empowerment to the team, equip the team with the tools they need to reach the team's version of success. And the byproduct of that for a leader is that all of a sudden the leader realizes, wow, I have more personal freedom. Everybody doesn't, it's good for our ego to think nobody can do it better than me. Like, everybody needs me, but that is not sustainable. And that is not your highest purpose in the world. And I really believe that by making the pathway for other people to become leaders, that's how we are going to reach our highest self.
I love that. Leaders creating leaders, and everyone out there, 13 years building her team. This is not an overnight thing where people think they see great successes come on. Must have been like that. No, she is explaining the vulnerable moments. That's all I can ask of guests. So thank you so much for sharing all that. As promised, grow and glow. If you don't know what it is, what is this method?
I mean, I kind of said it. It's a holistic approach to helping an organization of service providing individuals, a holistic approach to their success. So for me, it really is a little bit more about figuring out what each individual has that's either holding them back or the gaps that need to be filled. Sometimes it's professional. Sometimes it's like, hey, I need to get better at this technical part of my job. Or sometimes it's, I need to get better with client interactions and how I provide a service experience. Maybe it's your marketing, but a lot of times, and maybe at the same time, it's internal and personal development. It's interpersonal team dynamics. So there's about 10 pillars and 3 phases of what I do. And I really wouldn't be able to do it justice right here and now, but I think it's There's the vision portion, which has many of the technical documents from the mission statement, the core values. If you don't have your core values on paper, I'm going to get on soapbox about this, and you don't have your mission on paper, you don't have your job descriptions on paper, you cannot build. That is not a solid foundation to build on. So, I mean, I know people have been in business 10 years and don't have that stuff, but that will be your limiter, you know? So that's the vision stage. It's a lot of getting clear, getting that tangibly so you can deliver it to the rest of your team. Second stage with many steps under it is the creation phase. So that is going to encompass identifying those KPIs, creating systems to support them, how you're going to train your team members in a way that, get this, is not delegation. It is equipping and empowering and creating ownership within your team. So I love the idea of delegation, but I bet 9 times out of 10 people I talk to say it doesn't work for them. There's a reason. We're missing some of the pieces of this puzzle. So the last stage is going to be the expansion. The expansion stage really gets more into how to empower leaders, magnifying people's strengths, filling in their gaps, the team and community involvement aspect, a lot of culture development, the things that really take us to the next level. So in a nutshell, hope I did that some justice, but it's a process.
You absolutely did. Everybody stick around to the end of the show to find out where to find her online so you can check out all of that in great detail, book a call with her. I don't even want to ask what's next because you have so much going on right now, but what can we be excited about in the near future? What's on the horizon?
Oh man, I'm just very much enjoying the process of getting into other people's businesses and helping those owners and leaders that might feel overwhelmed, like they can't have the personal care that everyone deserves, teaching them the tools to empower their team. So not only does that leader get that dream life, they don't have golden handcuffs from their success, but their team has everything that they need to reach their highest levels of success. And then again, it's just like exponential happiness, love, success. It's synergy when it's not just about one person at the top getting what they want. It's when everybody gets what they want, starting from, the bottom of the team and up, down, however you look at it. It feels really good to be able to help spread that.
And I like how you're emphasizing making everyone feel not only important, just worth it, right? You're not just, hey, Vin, here's action item 2 and 3, get it done and let me know when you're done. We've all been in those micromanaged situations, it feels, where you're really doing the opposite. So I commend you on building a strong company culture. I'll give a big shout out to Jerry, one of my book coaching clients, where a company culture is more than just a quote on the back of your desk. It's got to be more, and it's got to be what you exemplify. Is that something that was always a staple in your businesses from the beginning, building this company culture? Or what maybe for our newer entrepreneurs listening on right now, when you were getting going, it seems like you took your time, you said 13 years to build your team, putting all these systems in place. What was at the forefront of emphasis when you got started? Was it culture? Was it systems? What was most important?
Yeah, it has absolutely evolved as everything does in life, but I will say, I didn't know this at the time, but a huge motivator, and I think what sustained me over the years, even though now I don't do hair, I've done hair for years, it's not about hair. It's about this organization and this company and this culture. And from the very beginning, based on the experiences that I lived in Chicago and I work at really high-end salons. And I mean, I'm from a small town in Spring Hill where I grew up, lower income family, lower middle income. I wasn't super polished. I wasn't super, stylish and sophisticated like this. It's always been this person. And that didn't always work in the really high-end salon environment that I was trying to penetrate in my late teens, from 19 to 21. And I didn't feel accepted, even though my technical skill set it was up there,
Yeah.
humbly. I was very, very capable and talented. So I didn't feel accepted, but I had the technical to reach every height of success in my industry. So inclusivity was really dear to me, that anybody in my team, they could look complete opposite of me, be super grunge, super edgy, like you name it, any nationality, any culture, any technical specialty. I wanted to create a place that if you had the same core values, and for us, values, top values are growth, education, teamwork, and being of service to others. If you value those things and you wanted to be your best and continuously grow, there was a place for you. And you wouldn't be judged for not fitting in. So that was so near and dear to my heart without me even realizing it at the time. And then the other thing was access. So providing a path for access to the highest feeling of professional achievement and feeling like a true professional in a career, when again, having not chose the beauty industry originally with my own free will, exactly, which is a fun story. Maybe we can talk about that another time. Maybe not fun is the right word, but crazy story. Not having the feeling of a pathway to my ultimate version of success and my highest potential. I never wanted any other person in the, at least in my industry, to feel that way. I wanted to provide a place where they were included and they had access. They had the tools, they had the support. If they were willing to work for it, they could reach the highest heights of what our industry provides and even surpass that. Like I have stylists now that when we opened, Ryann was with me from basically the very beginning, and we would get pushback for charging $30 for a wash, cut, blow dry, and dry refinement, which is like over an hour service. Guess what we can charge up to now? $150. So that didn't happen overnight, but I was really committed to elevating what the people that joined my team could achieve.
I love that. Inclusion, elevating your team. It's no wonder that you have this team together for over a decade. Congratulations on prioritizing the right things. So Spring Hill, you were born in Tampa, Spring Hill? Or is there
I was born in New York, Long Island, and I moved to Spring Hill, Florida, which is about 45 minutes to an hour to Tampa, and I grew up there. And then at 19, I moved to Chicago to pursue my freelance career as a hair and makeup artist. Was there for about 2 years, and then got this super random curveball to move back to Spring Hill, which took a little convincing, and start this little salon company out of 1,000 square foot location. I was the only employee. I was the only, there really wasn't any clients, and we grew from that.
What was the name of the original salon when you took it over?
Yeah, it was Tammy's Cutting Edge, and it was actually my aunt who I used to shampoo for as a young 12, 13-year-old. And she was leaving the industry, or well, not the industry completely, but leaving that portion of her career. And that's how it popped in my lap. I actually had my grandma called me when I was in Chicago. I was about to fly back to Spring Hill for my 21st birthday and like celebrate with my friends and family. So I already had a flight back, literally the next day. I had 2 weeks worth of clients booked because I had clients in my hometown that wanted to wait for me. And so I had a little seed of clients and reputation. And I had to on the spot say yes or no, because she was going to start selling off the equipment like that day. So they were already taking things off the wall. And I was like, okay, do you want to do this? And at first I said no, and then quickly realized, look, I can always come back to Chicago and pick up my freelance career where I'm at, but I cannot always open my first business on my 21st birthday. So here we are.
That's definitely something special. And I'm sure that it's saved with some startup costs, having some equipment already in there, not having to, get going. Where in New York are you from originally?
Long Island, Kings Park, Port Jefferson Station.
I'm from Northport. Originally. Yeah. Transit. That's cool. Well, again, now looking back over your career from that first salon, what is one lesson learned that still sticks out with you today?
The biggest takeaway I will always have, and the hardest thing I've ever had to overcome, was seeing what in me was holding back my team and organization from growing. And
let's talk about that.
My life philosophy, or one of my life philosophies now, is of radical accountability. So love it or hate it, I have chosen to take my power back in all situations by saying, if there's something I love happening or something I hate that's happening in my life, like I am going to find a way to make myself responsible for it, even if it's the actions of others. I think it's so easy to say, well, they don't want to this, or they don't give me that, or I always have this experience. But when you can reframe that, it's a hard pill to swallow at first, that everything in your life that you're currently experiencing is your fault, good or bad. Not everybody's going to even agree with me saying this in the moment, but I'm telling you, it's super empowering. It literally gives you the power, and then you can move forward from there. So that was a huge, huge learning curve. And then understanding that owning a business is about other people reaching their potential. It's not about what you want. My favorite quote by Zig Ziglar is, if you just help enough other people get what they want, you'll have everything that you could ever want. And basically the radical accountability in that quote are my life philosophies.
And it's so true. The more you help others, it does come right back around. Even the feeling of me like having payday on the first Friday every month, having people like I'm supporting their growth. Staff in America, of course, some staff Philippines, some in other places. I do English lessons with the 2 people I have in the Philippines just to get to have them grow in their potential, because I know that will help them after they're done working with me. They'll be more prepared for life. I absolutely love your commitment to helping others. Certainly no surprise Alyssa had us hook up here today for this episode. But before I get the contact info we've all been waiting for, Ryann, this is somebody you don't know yet. If you could choose to sit down with any entrepreneur, dead or alive, to pick their brain for a little bit, who are you choosing and why?
There's a lot. I really appreciate John Maxwell's influence over my life and career. I have gotten the opportunity to meet him, but not like sit and pick his brain. So he's like a grandpa that he doesn't know he is to me. But I know there's more. I'm not always.
Well, where would the meeting with John Max, where would the meeting go down if you could sit down and actually have that one-on-one?
He lives in Florida, and so do I. So again, I've been fortunate enough to have a dinner with him, but I want to hang out more with John.
Well, after this call, I'm gonna CC you in an email. Shout out to Milani. She's on his leadership team out there, so maybe she can help you get that straight away. I'm gonna go.
I am a John Maxwell certified coach because his books helped me so much over the years. I took that step. Yeah.
I love it. Well, I'll have to definitely get you that CC, making the note right here. That way I don't forget when it gets off. But now I can thank you so much for the show. Really appreciate you taking some time out of your busy day to inspire and teach our listening entrepreneurs. Where can we find you online?
I personally spend the most time on Instagram. It's Ryann_Halo, and Ryann is 2 N's. So RYANN_Halo. And then, I mean, I'm on all the other platforms, but I'm just not as active.
Well, thank you for sharing, everyone. Be sure to go check out her Instagram, throw her a follow, and then that will lead you to her website where she has a bunch of free resources, including that KPI tracker that I know all about. The show is at That Entrepreneur Show on all social media, on all podcast platforms. I am at Vincent A. Lancey on the same. Be sure to subscribe to me on YouTube for some video clips a few weeks after this show goes live. And with that, we are signing off this week, both of us in Tampa Bay. Ryann, thank you so much.
Thank you. This was so much fun.
Thank you.